Hello, welcome families and parents to the Greek Life Information Session. My name is Kristen Torrey and I serve as the Greek Life Director at Vanderbilt University. Fraternity and sorority life is a very popular option for involvement at Vanderbilt, with over 20% of our students being involved in fraternities and sororities here. It's certainly not the only thing to do, but is a popular choice. We have 25 chapters represented on our campus currently, with 1 to 3 additional chapters reestablishing at Vanderbilt this upcoming year. Almost all of our chapters have exclusive use facilities located in the West End neighborhood just south of Zepos College. 6 students live in each of our buildings with the exception of our NPHC community house, which is a shared space unique to Vanderbilt, where 2 students from each of our chapters live in suites that are shared in that space. We have 6 community priorities this year, which include diversity, equity, and inclusion, creating shared spaces of belonging, community and civic engagement, sexual misconduct prevention, health and wellness, and personal and professional development. We will achieve these priorities with a couple key initiatives, including the Greek Inclusivity Alliance, which is a group of students representing almost all of our chapters that are focusing on creating a more culturally competent fraternity and sorority community through their own educational development and learning and participation in a variety of activities to help create a more inclusive community at Vanderbilt. The second is our Greek Member Experience Program, which includes the recognition and celebration of our students for their participation in their own student organizations that they're already involved with, as well as our students' participation in attendance and a wide variety of campus activities across campus, as well as a chapter's community impact initiative, as well as a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. The third is our Ignite VU program, which is a new initiative that we're very proud of that we're doing in collaboration with the SCSJI office that includes all of our students participating in the intercultural development instrument that is helping to establish their own assessment about where they are in their cultural competence, as well as their participation in 4 foundational programs to help them develop as a more culturally competent leader and participant on campus. In addition, we are also working on our Come to Me campaign, which is a mental health initiative that helps students identify when themselves or a friend maybe need to be seeking additional resources on campus to help with their own mental health, and really helping to identify where they need to seek help for a friend or for themselves, and what they might need to really need as a resource, and where we can help find that for them on campus. So we're really excited about the priorities and initiatives that we have in place that are really helping our students to be some of the best on campus and to really be involved in really productive ways here at Vanderbilt. We're going to tell you now about our Greek community overview, because we know that a lot of you might be parents and family members of students that are interested in joining our fraternity and sorority community. So for those who are interested in participating in the intake or recruitment process, it's important that you know about the minimum eligibility requirements. All students must have a minimum 2.5 GPA, and they must have at least 12 established credit hours. In addition, they cannot be on disciplinary probation. They must also participate in a consent education seminar with our Project Safe office, because as I mentioned on the prior slide, that one of our priorities is around sexual misconduct prevention. And so that's an initiative that we're taking on this year, that all students who are interested in joining will participate in that consent education. That's one of the foundational elements that goes into a larger partnership we have with Project Safe that we'll be doing throughout the year. In addition, IFC, for those who are interested in joining, will have a community service requirement, and those who are interested in joining NPHC will need to participate in an intake seminar. Now I'm going to invite some student leaders to talk specifically about the recruitment and intake processes, as well as just a brief overview of their governing councils. So first, I'll have Logan talk about the Interfraternity Council.
Hi, my name is Logan Cromines. I am a member of the Alpha Tau Omega fraternity and have had the privilege of serving in the role of IFC president for the last year. The Interfraternity Council is the governing body in charge of the 10 fraternities on the Vanderbilt campus. You can see the list of those on the right of this screen. And the IFC community is just a collection of gentlemen that prioritize the various values of academic, leadership, scholarship, and just a collection of just advancing as a whole and becoming better members of society. And some of our biggest initiatives on campus are Lights on the Lawn, Come to Me campaign that Kristen previously mentioned, as well as just various other initiatives in collaboration with the Greek Inclusivity Alliance, Greek member experience, and the like. As far as recruitment, transfer students and upperclassmen have been able to partake in recruitment starting at the beginning of this last month and can continue through the rest of the semester. It's an informal process that can continue up through early January if they desire to take the longer route. And the goals of this process is just for them to intentionally find a community in which they feel as though they belong and can kind of foster the values that they hold most dear to themselves and collaborate with like-minded individuals in just progressing themselves, their chapter, as well as just Vanderbilt as a whole.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Boone, and I'm a member of the Miro chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I'm so excited to be serving as NPHC president this year. So NPHC, also known as the National Panhellenic Council, is going to be your historically Black fraternities and sororities. And so these are commonly referred to as the Divine Nine. There have been 8 chartered on Vanderbilt's campus. We currently have 6 active on campus, but we're hoping that our other chapters will be reestablished very soon. And so a big part of the Divine Nine is sisterhood, brotherhood, service, and scholarship. And so you'll see us programming with one another, you'll see us programming with other Vanderbilt student organizations, and you'll even see us programming with the broader Nashville community. We are a service-based organization, so that is a big part of who we are, and we really value that. And then you will also see our current chapters that we have here on the slide as well. So as far as NPHC intake, there's a designated intake window each semester, and you have to attend one by a certain deadline in order to be able to join that semester. And so we host Greek Mystique every year, usually in the fall, and that's where you can come and get to learn more about our fraternities and sororities. We usually have a panel there, you can ask questions, and it's very informative. And then there's an individualized process for each organization. So I encourage you all to do your research on each organization that aligns with your own personal values and goals and what you want to see in yourself and how you want to grow as a person on this campus. And so there's varying lengths and times of each process. So like I said, I encourage you to do your research, and we would be happy to have you.
Hello. I am Susan Hollenbeck. I'm a member of Kappa Delta, and I'm the Panhellenic president this year. So Panhellenic Council, the National Panhellenic Conference, NPC, is the umbrella organization for 26 international Panhellenic sororities, 9 of which we have here at Vanderbilt. The goal of Panhellenic is to offer women the opportunity to build meaningful, lifelong friendships while also developing leadership and professional skills and contributing to the broader community that Vanderbilt has. We have 9 Panhellenic chapters at Vanderbilt, and they are Alpha Chi Omega, Alpha Delta Pi, Chi Omega, Delta Delta Delta, Kappa Alpha Theta, Kappa Delta, Kappa Kappa Gamma, Pi Beta Phi, and Zeta Tau Alpha. So for Panhellenic recruitment, we have an informal process, which is known as continuous open bidding, COB, and this takes place in the fall for some chapters for transfer and upper division students. Formal recruitment process takes place in January for first-year students, transfers, and upper division students. It's a structured process emphasizing mutual selection between chapter members and potential new members. And then always keeping an open mind is always a really great advice.
As we think about membership in fraternities and sororities, there's a lot of different benefits that everyone can have for participating in fraternities and sororities at Vanderbilt. And that includes academic support, brotherhood and sisterhood, as the students mentioned. There are social outlets that students can participate in, leadership development, and a wide variety of things that I think, as a person who's worked at Vanderbilt for 20 years, I can say that I've really had the opportunity to see our students grow and learn, that it has really been transformative for many of our students. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I touched on is specifically related to transfer students. For transfer students, if your student is already a member, for students that are of chapters that are represented at Vanderbilt, we can help in our office for that student to become affiliated with their organization that is represented on our campus. If the student is an initiated member, that they actually went through their initiation at another school, but that chapter is not represented at Vanderbilt, that student cannot participate in recruitment at Vanderbilt University unless they are released from their membership obligation from their national organization. Typically, that does not generally happen, and so our office can help get them connected with local chapters in the area. We've sometimes connected them with students at Belmont or at other places, or we might connect them with the local alumni group here in town, and they might associate with some of the younger members of that alumni group. And so that is one of the things that is unique to transfer students. We do have some transfer students that were not initiated members at the other schools that they were a part of before, and then they may participate in recruitment at Vanderbilt as long as they were not initiated. So that's just an important note about transfer students. So we're now going to spend some time having the students share some of their experiences with us as leaders and as students at Vanderbilt related to their fraternities and sororities. So I'm going to ask the students from a panel perspective now just to share some of the things that they've kind of taken away in terms of the benefits of the membership that they have and some advice that they might have for parents. So I'm going to ask the students now. So we're going to ask, Logan, I'll start with you. Logan, what benefits have you received from being a member of your chapter here at Vanderbilt?
I mean, beyond just the obvious in the sense that you find a community very quickly, I came here not knowing anyone from my hometown, and right away was able to connect with a group of, just so many different students from a wide variety of backgrounds that just, challenged me, as well as also kind of made me realize what I truly prioritize and value as an individual, which has been so incredible. And then beyond just the social aspect, fraternities offer so many benefits, such as professional development. I've been able to work alongside them in my job applications, in constructing my resumes, working on interviews, as well as just academic support, being able to study alongside them, ask questions of people that have gone down the same academic path as me. Sort of what they looked at and what challenges they were presented along the way and how they navigated those. Just as a whole, I mean, obviously it's a social organization, but it goes so much more beyond that. And it's really just the relationships that I've found, I know I'm just going to hold well beyond my time here at Vanderbilt, and hopefully through the rest of my life.
Jackie, what about you? What would you say are the benefits that you've received from being a Delta?
Yes, so I would describe my chapter as the gift that keeps on giving. And really joining this chapter has made me grow in ways that I never knew was possible. I never thought I would grow so much in such a short amount of time. But really the sisterhood aspect, I have 6 sisters now for a lifetime, and I found my safe space within them on campus, and so that's been a beautiful process. I've grown as a leader. When you join these organizations, you're going to program, you're going to plan, you're going to interact with other people, so you're going to have to learn ways to communicate with other people, how to work as a team. And so you're definitely going to grow as a leader being a part of these organizations. And lastly, I would say the service aspect is huge to us. Being able to give back to our community in such a fruitful way and see, how our impact on them is amazing. And so I would say that those are some of the things that I've benefited from. Also the networking aspect of it, from my pro fights. As Logan was saying, looking up to people who are in positions you aspire to be in is super helpful. I can always reach out to them and ask them questions about anything. It doesn't matter what it is, and I know that they'll help me. So I'm super grateful for this opportunity, and those are some of the ways that I've benefited.
And what about you, Susan?
I think very similar to what Logan and Jackie shared. My sentiments parallel that, but I, for me, would say leadership and connections are the biggest thing that I have benefited from. First, leadership, I was able to serve as Vice President of Public Relations for my chapter, which taught me a lot. First, how to deal with 150 girls and how to manage them all, make sure that everything was running smoothly. And then additionally, I also served as president, which was a huge commitment. I jumped into the role very quickly, and I learned a lot. And then for connections, personal and professional. I met my absolute best friends in Kappa Delta that I will have for the rest of my life. They'll be my bridesmaids in my wedding. I love them to death. And then really with professional, I have 2 women in mind that I think about that I've made connections with through Kappa Delta. One of them is actually the national president of Kappa Delta, and then the other one is the director of collegiate experience. And these 2 women are just 2 ladies that I know that for the rest of my life, and once I graduate and for my career, I'll be able to reach out to them if I ever have questions, if I need advice, if I need someone to look over a resume, write me a recommendation, anything like that.
So one of the things that parents and family members will sometimes ask is about how you balance your academics, and because students come to Vanderbilt because of the academic success that we have at our institution. And so how do you as students balance your time as an engaged student leader with your academics? Jackie, perhaps we'll start with you this time.
Yes. So I will say when you join these organizations, in NPHC, it is a lot of work. Not only are you joining your chapter, but you're also joining NPHC as a whole. And so you're going to program within your chapter, but you're also going to program for NPHC. So right now, it's the end of September. We've already had, as a council, over 20 programs. So like I said before, it is a lot of work, but that does not mean it's impossible. I am a member of my chapter, I'm NPHC president, and I'm also a member of various other organizations. But it is important to organize your calendar, plan out your days. If you have to get Google Calendar, that'll work. If you have to have an agenda, that'll work. But also something that I want to mention is prioritizing your mental health. Taking breaks is super important. Not only are you a member of these organizations, you're also still a Vanderbilt student at the end of the day, and we know that comes with its own set of responsibilities. So please take care of yourself, but also be organized. Ask for help when you need it. You are not alone. It is a lot of work, but again, it is not impossible.
Susan, what might you add to that?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me I've actually learned this past year, and for balancing all my commitments, I've kind of taken at the start of, like on a Sunday at the start of the week, I've scheduled out my week, and I've blocked off time that I designate to academics, to Greek life, to my other clubs and organizations that I'm in, and then I also make sure that I have a space each day for something that I can do that I enjoy that isn't academic related, it isn't Greek life related. It's something that helps me clear my mind, whether it's a walk, reading, sometimes it's a nap. It's really important to have that little space that's just for you, not for anyone else, for anything else.
Okay. What about you, Logan?
I mean, one is she didn't mention Netflix. That's my go-to for, a little escape from the chaos that can come with being a Vanderbilt student. But first, I do just want to echo what Jackie said with regards to mental health. I mean, there's going to be times in life as a Vanderbilt student, regardless of whether you're a member of any fraternity or sorority, where you find yourself fatigued, and take that as a sign from your body that it is time for you to take a break. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of it's an individual responsibility to schedule properly, to understand the responsibilities, to one, not put too much on your plate. Be willing to say no. No is such a powerful term. If there just is stuff that you just don't have the ability to do at that time, like just, don't feel as though it's going to make you look bad if you don't do that. Prioritize what you really value. And yeah, just make sure that you schedule effectively. I also, like Susan does, every Sunday night kind of prioritize my next week, scheduling out, factoring in my class times, my meeting times, and then, filling in the empty spaces with time for schoolwork and the like. But yeah, we're all humans. We're all dealing with the same stresses on this campus. So if you ever need to, you can confide in anyone. Ask how they might navigate the stresses that we all have, which is something that fraternity life has definitely given me. A wide range, a large net of people, if you will, that I can confide in and kind of ask questions of, hey, how are you balancing all of these responsibilities?
Awesome. I'm very proud of those answers for all of you. What initiative or program that your council is working on right now are you most proud of?
I'll start.
Oh, go ahead, Susan.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you. Great, yes.
I would say it's very applicable for all of our councils, but for me, something that hits pretty close to home is our work with sexual assault prevention. Specifically, our Project Safe liaisons. Each chapter has a liaison that serves as like the halfway point between the Project Safe Center and their chapter. It's basically just like a friendly face, someone that each chapter member knows is knowledgeable on the subjects, the topics, how to get help, but then also they'll lead programming, do different discussions in chapters, and I think it's just a really great benefit that we have as Greek Life members.
Awesome. Okay. Jackie?
So for NPHC, we are service-based orgs, and so each chapter has a community service initiative they do, and I think that that's what we're most proud of as a council, because not only do we serve our communities within our respective chapters, but we also do community service together as a council. So whether that be, cleaning up a street or planting a community garden, going to a school and tutoring kids, meal packaging at a food bank, whatever it is that we see a need in our community, I think it's so important that we act on that and we actually do something about it. And so that's something that for NPHC we are so proud of, and we are going to continue to serve our communities forever.
Okay. What about you, Logan?
Yeah, I mean, so each chapter has their own individual kind of service connection with organization in the Nashville community, as well as we each have Project Safe liaisons, and we're really proud to say that we have at least one person in each chapter that participates in the Greek Inclusivity Alliance, which Kristen talked about earlier, that promotes discussions about issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But I think the council-wide initiative that I personally hold most dear is Lights on the Lawn, which, for those of you that don't know, is a concert that we put on every year, in which all the proceeds that are raised go to the Mary Parrish Center, which is an amazing organization within Nashville that provides housing to victims of interpersonal violence and their families, and helps to kind of set them back on track and find safety and security and in their lives. And it's just an amazing. I mean, one is fun. You get to go to a concert, which is great, but just the meaning of it behind it and the way it does sort of bring not only the fraternities, but all the sororities, NPHC, and the larger Vanderbilt community together for a cause that really is incredible. And in the 10 years that this will be the 10th year that we do it, we've been able to raise, over $500,000 for this organization, which they're currently undergoing a renovation with, and we've had a large hand in that. And it's just amazing to see the impact that we've been able to have on something that's kind of removed from the Vanderbilt community and the greater Nashville community.
That's awesome. Okay, and my last question for all of you is, what are the best ways that you think that parents can support the students that they are, their students if they're seeking membership in a fraternity or sorority? What's the best way that a parent can support them?
I'll start. So parents, I know that you want the best for your children, and you want to influence their decisions sometimes on what you feel is best that they should do, but it's super important to let your respective student research their organizations on their own and let them choose what's best for them, because at the end of the day, they're going to have to be in those organizations, and we want people in our organizations who want to be there and see themselves in those organizations. So each set of fraternities, sororities, they have their own values, and we want them to choose the values that best align with them personally. So you can support them, but I would say let them do their own research and make their own decision, because at the end of the day, it's their life, and they're going to have to live with it.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm just echo everything that she said. I think the key for any parent is to just understand, one is that it is an exclusive community, that, not everyone will be able to find a place within, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to participate with members of the Greek community. But yeah, I mean, just take a back seat, let them find what's best for them, and that might not be to join the Greek community, which if you're an alum, that's not the worst thing that can happen. But yeah, just support them if they have questions. Provide just unbiased answers, what you truly feel is the best for them, and just kind of guide them. But at the end of the day, they are, as Jackie said, kind of they're charting their own path, and you just have to let them do that. They've come to Vanderbilt. It's a huge undertaking for anyone, and you just have to kind of let them navigate, all the twists and turns that come with that, as a student, as well as in seeking membership in our community.
Yeah, like Jackie and Logan said, I think the biggest thing is just open mind, keeping an open mind. Telling your student also to keep an open mind. It's really hard as the person that's going through it to do that when you have so many outside voices, and you don't want to be an additional outside voice that's like telling them what to do or what you think they should do. Yeah, I think that it's just the biggest thing is keeping an open mind, and then also like just serving as a person that it's a stressful time, and like every single student, no matter your personality or whoever you are, you're gonna get stressed out. Like it's hard. It's a big decision. College is all about big decisions. So just serving as like that kind of person to vent to would be really helpful too, with just completely unbiased opinions and not trying to push your wants on them, I would say.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so as we wrap up today, I wanted to talk about two important things that typically parents do ask us about. And the first one is about financial obligations of membership. Fraternity and sorority life certainly does come with financial obligations of membership, and it is important that in your family that you do talk about who is going to pay for the financial obligations of membership. You can see on our website, the Office of Greek Life website, which is just the vanderbilt.edu/Greek_life. We have in our guide to Greek life a very transparent guide for what all the costs are for each of our chapters of what they have submitted. So you can see that there. But also making sure that you're talking with your child about what those costs are and who's going to cover those. We do have scholarships that are available within chapters, and then also with the governing councils have scholarships that are available from IFC and Panhellenic, have those available, and we're working on that coming from a broader set of things within our office potentially in the future. In addition, students are eligible to apply for funding from Experience Vanderbilt, which is a program that exists at Vanderbilt for any co-curricular activities that students might want to participate in, including Greek life, but it might be for students who want to participate in a club sport or alternative spring break or anything outside of the classroom that costs money. So students who are on need-based aid can apply for Experience Vanderbilt to use that up to $500 for those experiences. And so Fraternity and Sorority Life is one of those experiences that they can use that for. So while there certainly are costs associated with it, and it's important for you to talk about that with your student, there are opportunities available, also payment plans and other things that can help assist with that. But it is important that you have that conversation with your student to make sure everybody's on the same page. In addition, because parents do typically ask us about hazing and what we kind of are doing about that at Vanderbilt, it is important for parents to know that there are both state laws and Vanderbilt policies about hazing that we do educate all of our students related to. It is important that we want for you to know as parents that we really need your partnership around making sure that the fraternity and sorority experience is one where we're promoting a sense of belonging, and hazing has no place in that. We want to make sure that if there are any issues that do come up, that there is methods of accountability, and that is something that we take very seriously here. There is a wide variety of reporting options of which parents can certainly be a part of. We have an online hazing form that is able to be used and can be accessed from our website or from the Student Accountability website. We also have a hazing hotline that people can call into. It is not a hotline that is answered. It is a messaging service. You can also call our office or anybody on our staff. Would be happy to take a call and to hear any concerns that anyone is having. We also have really involved student leaders who've taken proactive steps and who are working very diligently all the time to make sure that this is a healthy and productive process, and that hazing is not doesn't have a place there. And so there are student leaders who are specifically involved in making sure that that's not what is taking place here, and that we have steps in place to ensure that if there is a concern that somebody has, and that can be something something that is just as simple as, I need to not participate in this activity tonight because I have a test tomorrow. We want to make sure that anything that is preventing someone from their number one pursuit here, which is to have their degree and to have the focus on their academics, that we're making sure that we're celebrating and supporting that in the best way possible. So I want to make sure that everyone is clear about that. So a couple last pieces of advice for parents. I think the students did a great job of talking about just making sure that this is something that you're letting your student to make their own decisions, and that you are ensuring that they are making their own choices. I know it can be difficult as a parent to not want to be the one who's helping to make those decisions for them, but know that we want to make sure that your student is making their own decisions, and also that the chapter that might have been here when you were here or at your school is different. And so allowing the student to make that own choice is really important, and that you are helping them to seek and explore lots of opportunities at Vanderbilt. Greek life, as I said at the beginning, is a popular choice, but it's certainly not the only one. So helping them to get involved in lots of things and explore things at Vanderbilt. And this is one of them, but it doesn't have to be the only one. And just because it might have been a great choice for you doesn't mean that it's necessarily the choice that might be right for your child. And the chapter that might have been the right choice for you might not be the right choice for your child. And all of those things are okay. And so I think it's really important that we are making sure that you provide that space and that opportunity for your child to make good decisions on their own, and let them to fight their own battles, and really to have a really independent and a good opportunity for their own learning here at Vanderbilt. So with that, here is my team. If you have any questions, you are happy to reach out to us at any time. And we have great ways to connect with us on both Instagram for our office, as well as on Facebook and our website there. And we would be happy to hear from you. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at any time. We're happy to have parents as partners and to have you to connect with us in any way. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation today, and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.